What's up, guys? Today we're working on the subframe of the E36, the front subframe to be exact. So we're going to start prepping it for reinforcements. So I already painted one side with Steelit, so these will be the bottom sides, and then I'll coat the tops once they're installed. Here's going to be the, I think, right side engine mount. I don't know how well you can see, but there's already some cracking on each, so good thing we're doing this. We're going to be installing it on the other side. I was very confused how these go because those holes don't line up. These kind of do, but the bracket doesn't fit. I was like, where does this go? So luckily I have my brand new motor mount from Rev Shift, so it's going to go in here, and then the little nub is going to go to this far hole. It's going to sit like that. Now it's locked in, but that's kind of last, so I'm just going to mark those maybe so I know not to cover those holes. The angle is not the best, but this is the inside pocket, so I flipped the subframe. This is the underside. They make more reinforcements for this area, but since I'm using the stock engine, I shouldn't have a problem, knock on wood, but if I need to in the future, I could add to this. But these guys, chrome side down, they're gonna face kind of in here and kind of go like that. All right, this one fits nicely. The other side, not so much, so I might have to grind down this outer edge because it's not sitting 100% flush. And I'll weld her up in there. I gotta clean out this area, and then this guy. So I think we're gonna, kind of wedge it in there. So it's definitely gonna sit in like this. You can see it fills this area nicely. So what you have to do is weld this outer lip and then bend it to get to this part. So we'll weld this and then use a screwdriver and a hammer and kind of bend it that way. It's pretty thick, but should be good. And then you'll just want to make sure that you can get your mount holes right there. So yeah, just like that. So now I'm going to prep this, try to wire wheel as much stuff off as I can. I already power washed it, but it definitely needs a scrub. Probably like a red Scotch-Brite pad. So to get in there, I'm going to use this Milwaukee die grinder. I got a little tiny, I don't know what this is, 1/2 inch maybe, bit from Harbor Freight. And so this will be able to fit in here and get all these kind of good. And then I'll spray it with some Steelit and weld these little guys in. I'm going to trim off this outer edge right here and kind of test fit it as we go. It's getting there. It's weird. This one doesn't want to fit as well as this one. This one, the left side here, this one fits real well. Look at this. Boop. Just slides on in there. So that one's good to go. They don't sit 100% flat, which I'm trying to get it to, but it just doesn't want to. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully this braces it enough. Well, that's about as good as I can get. And getting my welder in here is going to be tricky, to say the least. Now we're going to lay some coats of Steelit to protect everything and prevent rusting. I only prepped this bottom, so I'll have to do the top once I'm done. good enough. Alright guys, subframe is painted. I'll probably do a second coat after I weld. So what I did is I just bolted down the reinforcements so that way the hole is aligned, leaving the raw side up because I can paint that. Hopefully it doesn't rust up in there. Yeah, it's going to be a little tricky to get the welder in here. What I'm going to do before I put these bolts in, I'm going to line it up and tack it and then put the bolts in, so that way I know this hole is plumb, I guess. So far it's going all right. The steelet is melting because of course I didn't let it cure long enough, so it stinks. And it's, you know, peeling and shit, so definitely gonna have to recoat it, but as long as this underside is protected, I'm happy. So I'm gonna keep melting this in there, and I'm gonna put on my gas mask because it don't smell good. Welded it up as best as I can. Not the prettiest thing. And kinda, oh yeah, it's flaking all the old paint. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to respray it with the steelet, but it should be good underneath. I was able to get up in there, kind of up in there. Let me adjust this shake cam. So you kind of see, I was able to get this is kind of a spot weld, so I'm gonna work that one from the top. I was able to get in there pretty well. My welds aren't the prettiest, but as long as it holds. Alright, so second one came out a lot better. Welds are actually looking like welds, kinda. Don't judge me. It's gonna hold. And then I'm gonna plug these holes. I have to take the bolts out. I have to do these top parts next, but I also have to prep this side, fill all these cracks, and then weld. Probably fill this hole. So you can see I welded the sides, and now I'm gonna bend it down and hopefully make this match there and weld it all together. Let's see if I can do this. Oh my gosh. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, there we go. I might just have to hammer it. Alright guys, when in doubt, sledgehammer it out. I just used this to beat it into place, but then I realized that I was supposed to spray inside here before welding this, so I have two options, but you can see it's lined up well now. So you can see the gap is pretty good, not the best. I should have used less tack, bent it, and then filled all this spots, but I don't know how I'm going to spray in here, so I might have to cut these, pull it out, spray, and then re-weld it. Beat the devil out of it.
Just beat the devil out of it.
There we go. Heck yes. I'm going to paint this, and then I'll weld these back in tomorrow. So that's it for this day. This is why it's hard to do a 9 to 5 and then come home and work on cars. All right, so I'm trying to get this piece to fit. Mobile. It's not doing so hot. My tack welds just failed. I tried to smack it with a hammer. Didn't really work. So this side's kind of overhanging. It's really ugly. I don't know what to do. And the gapping in the back. Just make sure it's all glued together and hope that works. Yeah, because all that goes through here is the bottom of the bolt. So as long as this hole is somewhat in the same area, then should be good. I'm not an expert, do not take my advice. I'm gonna try to get the next side better. We're gonna try to get this left side better, so I'm gonna tack this corner and this corner, then hammer it down, hammer it and bend it with the screwdriver. We'll see if we can follow this angle. Probably not, but we're gonna try. Can't say this is much better. Tack cracked, which is great. Makes me real confident in all my welds here. There's a lot of overhang on this one. I don't know, man. So, yeah, I'm trying to push it in. It's not working, so I might have to keep hitting it and then tack it in. It's probably not going to be pretty either, but as long as it is structurally okay, then I'm okay. All right, just finished welding everything, so there's gonna be a little bit of cleanup need to be done. Definitely on the motor mount side, I'll have to grind all these flat, and then on these guys, I'll probably have to sand back, repaint, and yeah, make sure I get paint all up in there. Not the prettiest thing, but I'm not gonna touch it. I just welded it, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I try to fill in these gaps as best as I could as a novice welder, but I mean, there's some gaps. I don't know what I'm doing, but they're decent enough. There's some where it started to crack and stuff. That was, I don't know, the wind would pick up. I'm just making excuses, but I tried my best. So we're gonna paint it or sand it. We'll sand a little bit, sand this kind of rough area, and then the other side, and I'll paint it, and then I'll wait. I don't know how long for it to cure, and then I'll bolt everything to it. I'll probably put the motor mounts on it, and then the control arms on it as well, and then put it back in the car, and then hopefully start to button everything up. So that was reinforcing the subframe. All right, just put some paint on it. You can see I ground down the welds. It's somewhat flat, and then a fresh coat of steel it. Still looks like it's cracked, but there's a lot more welds there now, and that was the plug hole, so that's all filled. Probably could have ground it down better, but no one's gonna see it, so fresh coat of paint. Go let this dry, and then probably give it a second coat, and then I'll flip it over and paint the bottom again, just because that's where I jack it up from, so it'll take the most beating, and then I'll put it all back together. I'm really good at these outros. I did this whole project over like a month, so I didn't really do intros or outros, but that was welding and reinforcing the subframe and painting it. In the next part, we're gonna put it all back together. So brand new control arms, brand new motor mounts, brand new transmission mounts, because you have to do engine and transmission, and everything else. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.